We've all heard the saying, it's not how you start that's important, it's how you finish. Well, in singing, that isn't always the case. Let's talk onsets and offsets.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Hey there, my name is Dr. Dan. Welcome to Voice Essentials, where we develop your voice and improve your sound. I'm so glad you could join in the fun. Today I want to briefly discuss the alpha and omega point of your singing, that is the start and the finish. Every note has a starting point and a finishing point. These two events have a massive impact on your singing style and, believe it or not, your vocal health. The terms we give to these two phonatory points are onset and offset. Onset refers to the manner in which the sound is started by the laryngeal mechanism, and offset denotes the way in which the sound is concluded. But as is often the case with learning to sing, there's a little bit more to it. You see, both the onset and offset have three variations: glottal, aspirate, and simultaneous. And if we want to be really nitpicky, there's a fourth, but we'll discuss that later. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate all 6 variations and provide you with some practical exercises that I think you'll enjoy workshopping into your own sound. Now, the basic building blocks of onset and offsets are the muscle to air proportions and how the singer chooses to balance the two elements. As we continue through the video, keep in mind that each of the onsets and offsets is simply varying the mix of air to muscle ratios and the resulting muscle activity.
Sound check.
The best place to commence is always at the beginning, so let's discuss onsets to start. The onset of a note is so important because it often drives the emotional interpretation of the subsequent notes. Let's have a listen to the 3 different onsets. The glottal onset, sometimes referred to as a hard onset or a glottal attack, is formed when the vocal folds close forcefully before the air and resulting sound commences. And the glottal onset sounds like this. Ah, ah. Notice how we can hear a forceful attacking sound at the very front end of the phonation as the vocal folds attack the glottis before the airflow has fully commenced. The aspirate onset, often referred to as a breathy onset or a soft attack, is virtually the mechanical opposite to the glottal onset. This time we'll place a H in front of the vowel, which will give us a whispery edge to the front end of the sound. Have a listen. Ha, ha. The aspirate onset can be used to commence a breathy quality into the following phrase, which can be used to communicate intimacy and ambience, or ambience as some people like to say, whereas the glottal attack will denote strength and energy. When used wisely, these two onsets will empower your emotional connection to your songs and, in turn, your audience. But be careful. Glottal attacks and aspirated onsets should be employed consciously. That is, these two onsets should not be habitual because they both carry a high cost for the voice and, if overused, can lead to significant wear and tear. I always orientate my private singing students to form a habitually simultaneous onset. Now, sometimes called a balanced or a neutral onset, this third onset requires an even flow of breath with an equally balanced action of vocal fold engagement. Using the same R vowel, this time we'll place a Y in front, the resulting sound, ya, ya. Hear how the starting point now has an evenness to it. And as a side note, for those of you who are working with my exercise CD, you may have noticed that I instruct you to always commence the sung activities with a ya. Now you know why. I want you to be able to develop a simultaneous onset as a healthy, sustainable habit that you then choose to alter occasionally with a glottal attack or an aspirated onset. Now, earlier I hinted at a 4th onset. The 4th way in which the voice can commence sound is called vocal fry. Actually, many singing teachers, and I'm one of them, don't generally assign vocal fry, often called creaky phonation, to the list of onsets because whilst it is a mechanistic activity that sits somewhere between a simultaneous onset and a glottal attack, it's also the bottom register in your voice. Pedagogical arguments aside, the vocal fry sounds like this. Ah, ah. It's easy enough to hear why we refer to it as fry or creaky. The vocal folds are literally pulsing together without actually creating any clear tone. Before we talk about and demonstrate offsets, be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you're learning something from today's topic.
Sound check.
So let's get straight to the point. Offsets are the exact opposite to their counterpart, onsets. So a glottal attack offset will sound like a pinched note because the vocal folds are, once again, attacking the glottis with a pressed action. It'll sound something like this. You'll often hear glottal attack offsets in genres like pop, which employ short, clipped phrasing. The aspirated offset, often heard in jazz ballads, forms extended notes that move to a breathy, whispery sound as the vocal folds discontinue their oscillation while the airflow is maintained. The result? Finally, there is the simultaneous offset employs an even, balanced end to the tone. It's neither clipped nor breathy. Some people find simultaneous offsets the hardest to create out of all the onsets and offsets because your sense of overall vocal coordination has to be well developed. If you're struggling to create the even balance to your offsets, try singing an A vowel. A. The A vowel is a diphthong, a complex vowel with two sounds, A and E. The second sound of E allows the voice to finish the sound more smoothly. Sound the A vowel a few times and then see if you can replicate the same sensations of breath and muscle when using the R vowel. So you'd go A, ah. It might take you a few goes, but stick with it. I know you'll get it with a little bit of practice. As always, I really hope today's video has taught you something about singing and how your voice creates sound. Leave any remarks or questions you have about today's video in the comment section below. I'm always eager to interact with everyone here at Voice Essentials. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, g'day! If you'd like to see more videos designed to develop your voice and improve your sound, then allow me to invite you over to my channel. I'd love for you to subscribe and join our ever-growing community of singers from across the globe who, just like you, want to raise their voice in song. Until I see you in the next Voice Essentials video, I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.